today, Sunday weekend, or yesterday and today, the whole weekend, I'm planting some fruit trees. Well, to be precise, fruit and almond. 2 almond trees, different varieties, 2 pear trees, different varieties, and 2 apple trees. This is really quite nice because until now all we've been able to do is clear vegetation that has been neglected for I don't know, 20 or 30 years. So it feels a bit destructive. Well, gets a bit monotonous. So this is the first, after a year or a year and a half, we've got to a stage where we're actually planting stuff, and we can leave it to grow. I was anxious to do this last year, but it was just impossible. There was nowhere really ready, and I would have liked to have got these in autumn. They say apparently that it's better to plant the trees in autumn. That may be true, but it's now late February, so these maybe should have gone in a little bit earlier, but I'm going to risk it. Especially we're at 1,000 meters above sea level here, so it's still a little bit cooler. We may have a little bit of grace on the planting time. So this is a pear that I'm going to put in here. I can't remember which variety it is. We've got one conference. That isn't the conference. This is a different variety. So it's really an experiment to see if anything takes. There's nothing like that here. There are almond trees here, but there are no fruit trees. There are no olive trees either. About a kilometre after you leave the village and start rising up. So I don't know. I'm just planting these 6, 2 of each, different varieties, to see what takes. This is one of the best terraces we've got. The soil is great. I mean, you may be used to this kind of soil, but here we're in the mountains. We're 1,000 meters above sea level, and it's quite rocky and often quite stony. But this run of terraces down here is actually quite good, and this soil is fabulous, I think. So that's why I've chosen this area. I've also chosen it because it's one of the large. It's not a gully, it's bigger, but it's one of the large areas where it's apparent that there is water running down from the top of the mountain slowly, and because these terraces act a little bit like swales, they retain the water, and that's why this grass has grown so well here. And when I was digging the hole, I dug it about ½ a metre. There was water. It was nice and damp all the way down. So after planting, I've planted the 2 almond trees near the house. The house is up there over the crest and a little bit further along. I decided to plant these away from the house just because I want to experiment with these terraces. If these 2 work, I'd like to plant all of this, maybe 5 or 6 trees in here. We'll see if this summer they take. I know we won't get fruit, possibly next year, but if they take, then this autumn the plan is to plant some more here. I'm going to do it in a zigzag form. Might get 5 or 6 trees in here if these take, which will be very nice. So after this planting, this is actually the easy bit. Digging the holes isn't very easy, but because as I've mentioned in previous videos, the main problem here is wildlife foraging from wild boar, but they're closer to the ground. They're more interested in the truffles that we have, but they're still an issue. They still dig holes. They might uproot this, but then we've got the deer, of course, which are going to love these, and there's the mountain goat, I don't know what the official term is. It's what's called Cabra Hispanica here in Spain, and they are the size of deer that you might that you might know. I saw a mountain goat, Cabra Hispanica, the other day that was you know, bigger than the largest stag that I've seen. So they will also nibble at the bark and forage around these. So I'm going to have to get first of all I'm going to have to get a post in, a supporting post, but then somehow we're going to have to fence these off either individually, which I'm more inclined to do because it's safer. There is a possibility here, because of the configuration of this terrace, that we could just fence across here, then fence across there, and you might think that these fairly high walls are safe, act as a barrier, but you can never be too sure. They should. I think I may begin by fencing them individually, so that's going to be more work than the actual planting. So yep, that's what I'm up to. I shall give you an update, and we'll see how they do. Look forward. I'm really hoping they're going to take. So yeah, and the one we've chosen here is Fuji, Manzana Fuji, and the other apple variety, I can't remember what it is, but it's not as pretty as a lot of varieties. But the garden centre where we bought it recommended it because he says it's not as attractive to wildlife. So kind of makes sense. So it survives, and it's tasty. It just doesn't look as pretty. So yeah, I shall plod on. I've got I've got 4 more to go in. The almonds are in, and these two, the other 2 are going down on another terrace a little bit further down.